not gonna not dictate to you.
Hello, Laura. I'm sorry, actually say your name. Who are you? Please? Yeah? And what are you doing here today? You're getting a what? Do you know what you're getting? Are you excited? Is this your first tattoo? All right, so yeah, just go tell me your name and your shop again.
I'm Joel Mentor. I co-own the shop Stay Weird Tattoo with Josh Avery.
I'm Sid Liberty. I work at Iron Tiger Tattoo at Columbia, Missouri.
Cool.
And I just have a shop in Jeff City, Missouri called Good Times Tattoos and Piercings.
My name is Lucas Marsman. I work at Meeting House Tattoo in Grand Rapids.
My name is Benton Sillick, Bentonsillick. I work at Love Hate Tattoo in Rochester.
So my name is Brianna Foster, and I am affiliated with Modern Love. My husband Erich tattoos there.
All right, my name's Buddy from Detroit, Union 3 Tattoo, right in Corktown.
So he's the one who gave me my tattoo today.
Right.
It is now covered, but you did a fantastic job. How long have you been tattooing?
I've been tattooing almost 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been a long run.
I've been piercing 16 years. I've been tattooing 7 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
no kidding.
9 years. Yep. I started my apprenticeship 9 years ago, but I was like at a street shop tattooing like a month in. So yeah, I claimed the whole thing. So, yeah.
How long have you two been into tattoos?
So my husband's been tattooing for 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've been getting tattooed since I turned 18. So yeah.
When did you get your first tattoo?
I was 18.
Okay.
So yeah, I booked the appointment. It was like I had to wait like 3 months to get in. He was a busy guy, luckily. So, but yeah, I got a good one. But yeah, I was like 18 at the time.
I got a yin yang on my shoulder.
Okay. All right. Is it from a friend? From
No,
a shop?
I was 18 and I went to I didn't know anything about any of it. It was 1990, so it was still kind of like underground. And I just went to a tattoo shop. I didn't know anything about it. Walked in, told them what I wanted. I don't even remember if they checked if I was 18, but so I was 18 and paid $100 and I got a yin yang. Yeah.
I got my first tattoo. I waited a couple years. I was 21. It was my 21st birthday. Yeah.
Was it
It was at the shop I work at now.
Oh, really? It's
Yeah.
all from the same place.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it like an immediate, like you got the tattoo and you're like, oh, this is what I want to do kind of thing? Or
I had known for a while, but I was just taking my time.
what would you say is your favorite part of your job?
Just getting to meet new people all the time, and basically, it's like you get to travel. There's good conversation. Obviously, it makes pretty good money too, so that's fun. But more just about, I don't know. It's really fun to put out art on people, and they're just walking around with that stuff, and like being able to do cool old school traditional tattoos that are from the 50s and 60s that you get to bring and put on people nowadays is kind of like time travel. And,
Really?
Very cool. Yeah, you get to like kind of keep old school alive, like ride old motorcycles, ride old cars, do old school tattoos,
All right, nice.
Yeah. That's why I like it.
Yeah, very cool. And so you mentioned you're a teacher. What grades?
So I teach 8th grade special education. I have like a behavioral class, so I just teach like naughty children. They're great.
So what do they think of your tattoos? I guess
I am the coolest teacher at school for now, but it's cool because they are all very interested in it, and it kind of makes me a little more human to them, I think. And yeah, I just get to be the cool one, which is always fun.
Has it been hard, like finding a teaching job or doing anything like that with the tattoos?
So luckily, I have had very good luck. I actually worked at a Catholic school for a while with my tattoos and had no issues. And the school district I work in, Buffalo Public Schools, has no dress code, so I can kind of do as I please, which has been really nice.
Yeah. So, remind me again how you got into tattooing.
So basically just getting tattoos.
Yeah.
Just drawing and painting for a long time, and got my first tattoos kind of struck by lightning,
Yeah.
wanted to like explore the tattoo world after that. Actually coming to my first tattoo convention is kind of a big influence as well, seeing like this regular hotel kind of have like this freak show inside of it. It was really cool to be experiencing like for the very first time.
How did you end up making that jump from like somebody getting a tattoo to becoming an artist?
Oh, it was years. I mean,
Yeah.
I actually had a brief apprenticeship from that same place because when I got that first tattoo, I'm like, this is what I want to do. I was 18, it was 1990, and they were like, cool, like bring us a portfolio. They didn't say portfolio, they said bring us some of your drawings, let's take a look.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I brought them in, like, oh yeah, cool. So I mopped and cleaned up for a couple of days, and then they had me running drugs. So I got spooked and I bailed on it.
That's fair.
And then yeah, so then I finished up college, and that left a sour taste with me for a long time because I thought that's what tattooing was running drugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't get back into it until I was in my 30s.
Wow. Yeah. That's quite the story.
It was pretty cool. I wonder a lot if I had stuck it out, but I'm like, I probably would have just ended up being a drug dealer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if I had stayed in that environment at that age,
Yeah.
So I'm glad I bailed. It just would have been cool to have been tattooing that long,
Yeah.
30 years of tattooing would have been sick.
And how'd you get into tattooing?
I was a client. I got tattooed quite a bit. I always liked to draw and stuff, but it was just hanging out in shops. And then, I was 30 before I started tattooing, so it was just being a regular client, and then kind of had the opportunity to kind of get into the shop and do an apprenticeship.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, are you? Sorry. Hi there. My name's David. I've been going around doing little interviews for people around. Yeah. Would you like to hop in too, or?
I don't know what's it about.
Just you guys. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, you mentioned you've been tattooing for
22 years.
22 years. Yeah. How did you make that jump from getting a tattoo to becoming an artist?
So I've always wanted to. Ever since I got my first tattoo, I knew that that's what I wanted to do for a living, and didn't know how to do it. It was got my first tattoo in 1990, so there was only a handful of like bikers doing it. They didn't want anything to do with some like punk rock skateboarder kid. So it took a while. It took from the time I was 16 till 26 to find an apprenticeship.
Really?
And but I just knew. As soon as it happened, I was like, this is what I meant to do, and spent the rest of my life trying to do it. And eventually happened through a lot of hard work and tenacity and good luck.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been perfect. It's been great.
So I feel like the stigma with tattoos has been improving.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
do you still experience it a lot? I mean, I know you got the whole thing going
Yeah,
on.
I had my face tattoo when I was like 21 or
Okay.
something, and I'm like 36, so I don't. It's been a long. I don't even really notice it that much
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I first started getting them done, it was a lot different back then. Nowadays, it's like with all the SoundCloud rapper guys or whatever, Post Malones and shit like that. They kind of made it more friendly on the eye to like normal people because they like their music. So
Yeah.
I guess like it kind of sucks though because it's like you get them because you want to look tough, and then now everybody like you got like just random chicks will come in and get a face tattoo. They don't even got any tattoos now. So
Yeah,
it's kinda
yeah.
crazy. It's not the same as it used to be. Like you might see someone that just has a little tat by their eye or something, and no tats on the rest of their whole body.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's changed a lot, definitely.
I mean, I had to get my head tattooed to feel like I was doing anything that was societally different.
to feel like you were pushing it.
Yeah, to feel like I was pushing it. So yeah, I mean, I get more compliments on my tattoos than any dirty looks that I can see. They might do it behind my back, but really, mostly people want to ask questions and fascinated by it. And mostly nowadays, like it used to actually be that like criminals and outlaws were getting tattooed, and then into like the 80s and 90s, it kind of exploded into other subcultures, skateboarding, hardcore punk rock, And then since the 2000s, it's kind of like anybody. So a lot of people are pretty nice.
Do you put a lot of like planning into each tattoo you get?
No, I never thought a tattoo I have on my body for more than like 20 minutes probably.
Yeah,
Usually
good.
Just
Yeah.
kind of like show up and get it. And I used to when I got tattooed a lot. I used to just show up and tell them what I got, money wise, and do you got anything cool that you want to do? And they would bring out their book of stuff that they really wanted to do, and then they would always do a phenomenal job on it because it was something that I loved and had passion for that they actually wanted to put on you. So
Right.
yeah, that's how I get mine done. Just like, hey, what you got?
Yeah.
I want something kind of like this, and they'll go whip me up something. You know what I mean?
Nice. A lot of people, when I say, like, oh, how long should you plan to get your tattoo?
Gotcha.
Everybody's been like, don't over-plan. Don't put too much time into it.
Yeah.
What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. If the artist is booked out 6 months that you want to work with, wait.
Yeah, you
wait
got
6
it, right?
months.
Yeah.
Wait, But like if you're at a convention like Rochester here, fucking walk up and get a tattoo from somebody and you're going to get something good. You know what I mean? I like folk art, American traditional tattoos. So in my opinion, if you get a dagger, you're not going to regret it. You know what I mean? If you get a band logo, or a SpongeBob, it's something you may eventually, regret. But if you get classic tattoo imagery, you're not going to regret it.
Well, my first one I planned. My second one, I don't know if I planned any of. I gotten to the point where I'll go to an artist that I like and I will say, do what you want, or I'll give them like a single idea and say, do what you want with that. For a while, I used to just show up at shops and ask artists if I could see their sketchbook or their line book and just pick something.
Do you have a favorite tattoo?
On myself?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're all a little like, as I've gotten older, I get tattoos from my friends and peers. So they're all cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I have a favorite one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Each one has its own time
Yeah,
and
it's
space
its own
for
personal
me.
thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just on a whim will get something from somebody, but I don't know. They always end up being cool. You know what I mean? I feel like if you like what they're putting out, like you're gonna be like-minded and you're gonna get along and they're gonna be cool to you. You know what I mean?
Right. Do you have a favorite tattoo?
On me, probably my back piece.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Got it from Julian Bass in Ann Arbor at Name Brand Tattoo. So yeah, he's a solid dude. He's done a few of our tattoos.
Do you have a favorite tattoo of yours?
I do. I have a back piece for my husband that's really beautiful. There's a picture of it in this book, but I don't want to take my dress off to show you
That's
it.
okay,
But yeah.
Okay, so if you're talking to somebody who's getting their first tattoo, what piece of advice would you give them?
You mean like physically or like?
Yeah, they're getting their first tattoo ever. They're trying to figure out what they want.
Oh, figure out what they want?
Yeah.
Go with your gut.
Yeah.
Usually like your first impulse
Yeah.
leads you to the right track. Maybe not always like your first decision, but your first impulse, like I want to represent my family, or I want to get something for this music I love, or I want to get something that's gonna get me laid. But whatever your first impulse is.
Okay. All right. I feel like I've had several people say to not put too much planning into it, to kind of go for it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I think where you should put the planning is placement of the tattoo.
Okay.
Don't start on your hands. Don't get a face tattoo. You know what I mean? Like, get something that you can cover if you want to. Something like inside of a t-shirt area, or like an arm, or something like that. That would probably be the most crucial advice I would give. Yeah.
Oh man, find an artist that you like. Like their portfolio. If you want them to do something that isn't what they're posting on their social media, it's probably not the right artist. So I would say go to somebody whose portfolio and catalog you like. Instead of like just finding something that you hear good things about, but you're going to get a better tattoo from somebody who's posting stuff that looks like what you want.
Yeah, that you like anyways.
Yeah, quite often people come to me and they're like, I know this isn't what you do,
Oh, sorry,
but
away.
I hear good things about you, which is great, and I'm honored to do that. But you know, find something. If you like their stuff, they'll like what they're going to give
Right.
you. You know,
Right.
Trust the artist.
Yeah.
If they say something's should be bigger, smaller, not going to work like that, just trust them because you're going to have it your whole life. It's going to age with you. Yeah, just trust the artist. They know what they're doing for the most part. Go to a reputable shop with reputable artists. Look at portfolios. Look at websites. Do your research on who you want to do your tattoo. You know, come in with a good idea of what you want, and then trust the artist from there.
All right.
Yeah, stay out of those basements, kids. Don't buy your Amazon tattoo machines. You're gonna hurt someone or yourself.
To relax. I think going in with a healthy nervousness is okay because that's going to help your adrenaline and endorphins get moving. But if you come in too high strung, you're going to peak and you're going to get a little lightheaded. You can get dizzy, things like that. So come in with a little bit of nervous anticipation, excitement, and just try to relax and be zen-like, and you'll be fine. And I very rarely have any issues with people getting their first tattoos and struggling. They all do very well. So, yeah, not a problem at all.
So like,
Very first tat.
yeah. Like,
I'd say
any piece of advice for them?
I'd say the first one's the easiest. You know,
Yeah.
you don't know what to expect. No matter where you get it, it's not going to feel like anything else. You don't have anything to compare it to.
Yeah.
So go for whatever it is. Don't worry about how it's going to feel or how long it's going to take. It's kind of just all part of the process. I just say get a good night's sleep the night before. Make sure you drink a lot of water and pick a good design. You know, don't be too complicated, and definitely don't get something you've never seen done before. 'Cause those usually are the worst designs.
Right.
You know? Get a skull, get a panther, get a rose. Something that you know looks good. You're going to be happy with in 40, 50 years.
Yeah. What was it like transitioning from being an apprentice to being a full-fledged tattoo artist?
I had a really good experience. You know, I feel like it's definitely extremely different for everybody. Some people have a really rough apprenticeship. Some people don't have an apprenticeship at all. But my apprenticeship was great. I did like 2.5 years, and it was the appropriate amount of time for me to like spend in a tattoo shop and just not only get acclimated with like tattooing itself, but how to kind of navigate the environment and help people to the best design possible. You know? So that 2-year period was really necessary. There's definitely points like 6 months in where I'm like, all right, I got it. I can tattoo right now. Or a year, you're like, I can open my own shop. But that two-year mark seemed to be the most appropriate amount of time to
I don't know
apprentice.
if most people, especially people who don't get tattoos, realize how much work and how long it takes to get to that stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of part of the apprenticeship as well, is the process of weeding out. You know, if you don't want to do it, you're not going to not get paid for 2+ years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that kind of seems to be like, you know, there's a lot of great tattooers that didn't have an apprenticeship at all, or great tattooers that had a really horrible apprenticeship and came out on the other side of it. But that's kind of the determining factor, you know, is if you're willing to put in the work and do the drawing time and sweep floors out, asking questions and all that bullshit. You know, it really does help when you're trying to draw a flower for somebody and they're very particular about what they want.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know, that time spent in the shop really is important. It's really important. Experience matters. No matter how good you are at whatever you do, experience matters a lot.
Yeah. How did you end up making that jump from, you know, like somebody getting a tattoo to becoming an artist?
Oh, it was years. I mean, I actually had a brief apprenticeship from that same place. Because when I got that first tattoo, I'm like, this is what I want to do. I was 18, it was 1990, and they were like, cool, like, bring us a portfolio. They didn't say portfolio, they said, bring us some of your drawings, let's take a look.
Yeah.
And I brought them in, like, oh, yeah, cool. So, like, I mopped and cleaned up for a couple of days, and then they had me running drugs. So I got spooked and I bailed on it.
That's fair.
And then, so then I finished up college, and that left a sour taste with me for a long time because I thought that's what tattooing was running drugs.
Yeah.
So I didn't get back into it until I was in my 30s.
Wow, yeah, that's quite the story.
It was pretty cool. I wonder a lot if I had stuck it out, but I probably would have just ended up being a drug dealer.
Yeah, yeah.
If I had stayed in that environment at that age, you know.
yeah.
So I'm glad I bailed. I just would have been cool to have been tattooing that long, you know.
Yeah.
30 years of tattooing would have been sick.
Have you gotten any cover-ups? Have you had to do that?
Nothing on purpose. I've had like small ones that I, did on myself when I was an apprentice that have been covered up now. But nothing that like
Oh, I gotta cover
I
up
hate
for
enough.
that?
I've got stuff that's dated that I got back in the early 2000s that isn't super crisp and clean anymore. That I'll probably put stuff over top of it, but not out of like regret.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just out of wanting to continue to get tattooed. So yeah.
What would you say has been the most important skill that you've developed to become a tattoo artist?
To become a tattoo artist,
Yeah.
illustration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was illustrated. I didn't start tattooing until I was in my 30s.
Oh, okay.
I was an illustrator before that.
Really?
Yeah.
What
And,
type of illustrations? What type of work?
I did a lot of stuff for I did a couple things for some music magazines, some bigger publications.
No kidding.
A lot of fanzine stuff. I did album covers for punk bands.
Whoa.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
That's cool. So it's a lot of like drawing, like pencil, stencil kind of stuff. Or
I always did
painting,
because I was always broke, and the easiest way to do things in the 90s was like Xerox copy machines.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff I did was pen and ink.
Oh, okay.
Translates well.
Nice.
Yeah. I was a screen printer for a long time, so I did some screen printing and did a lot of that stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I needed was just a quick tidbit. Yeah. Thank you so much. It was so nice meeting you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's perfect.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet,
Just
man.
a couple minutes. Thank you so
Perfect.
much.
Yeah.
Well, that covers it for me. I just wanted a little tidbits.
Yeah, of course.
Get a insight. Well, that's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you so much.
You be well.
Yeah.
There's some really interesting people here.
Everyone's been so nice. Wise words.
Yeah.
Well, that was it. Yeah, just a little.
Cool, man.
Well, it seems like things are turning out pretty good.
Yeah. It all worked out in the end, right?